Continuing our conversation here with Tim Brown at Porter Ramsey, I've got a question for you, Tim. With most contracts, not everyone, but most contracts, it does have a subject that says subject to legal review of the terms and the conditions. That might be property disclosure statement, it might be the title itself. When a realtor sends that package over to you and asks for legal review, what is the process and what are you reviewing?
A number of things. Firstly, the contract. In most instances where you've got a good realtor like yourself, the terms are all set out correctly, but it doesn't hurt to have a second set of eyes just to have a look at it, make sure that the legal description is described properly, and maybe ensuring that all the subjects, conditions in the contract have proper dates that need to be removed, and just sort of a second set of eyes on it. The other thing we look at is the title. We're looking for any essentially non-financial charges, which could be right-of-ways or easements or anything that would affect your use of the property. And in doing so, it's more important to have that review done when you're buying a home as opposed to a condo. If you're buying a condo in a strata, you really don't have generally non-financial charges that cause you any concern vis-a-vis your use of the property outside of your own unit. But when you're buying a lot or even a house, and if you want to do anything in the yard, like build a shed or a pool or anything like that, you want to make sure that there's no easements on there that would prohibit you from doing so. So it's important to have a look at the title with an eye to exactly what you want to do with that property to ensure that there are no restrictions on there that you're not aware of.
And one of those items as a line item could be the building scheme.
There are building schemes as well, and that's fairly common in this town, more so in new developments. And the building scheme essentially is when the developer develops property, let's say there's 30 or 50 lots involved in this development, they want to have some design guidelines that all of those lot owners must adhere to. And so they'll do what's called a building scheme, and that building scheme sets out, it could have requirements for material that are used on the construction, could have something to do with building heights, aesthetic specifications with regard to the construction. Any number of things can be set out in the building scheme. So if there is a building scheme, even if the house has already been built, it still applies to renovation. So it's important to have a look at if there's a building scheme, and if it is on there, what are the restrictions and requirements.
And people don't understand this or don't know, but those charges can be pulled by your office for review, correct?
Yes, we typically do at least provide the option to the buyer saying, here's the following charges that are on title. We suggest you have a look at them. Do you want us to review it? And in most instances we do.
Well, I appreciate it, because I know that the last line of defense is having your review of the contract to make sure that the client is protected, and that is always done prior to subject removal. You never want to do that after the fact. Like some provinces do have it near closing, but in British Columbia, we like to have that looked after at time of subject removal or prior.
That's right. Important to do so.
Okay, thanks again, Tim.
You're welcome. Thank you.